Now listen, it was very simple from my side of things. We do what we always do, and we prepare properly to get to a game of football. We left in plenty of time. The roads were horrendous in stages, they were really bad. Our driver managed to do amazingly well, I thought, to get us there, and in the time that he did, the one thing I'll say is that the contact between both clubs was crystal clear, and by that I mean that the pitch was fine. There was no issues to the stadium or anything like that, Pittodrie, and the decision ultimately came, I think, a conversation between the two clubs and the police, and that you know, people that were coming after us and leaving later, a lot of your staff, as it were, supporters. I know Aberdeen have a support from the Central Belt that travel to all the games and things like that as well. People are finding it nigh on impossible to get through some of the roads. So I think at that point common sense probably prevailed. The most important thing is that people are travelling round about at this time safely. We certainly don't want any issues that way. So for the aspect of us being there and being able to play the game, that was no issue. From Aberdeen being prepared to play the game, no issue. It would genuinely come down to that advice, I think, from the police. Around about 3:30, and then from there, you know, both clubs do their due diligence to release statements and try and make everybody aware that the game is postponed. So logistically it becomes a bit of a nightmare for us in terms of our travel. We've travelled for no reason. So I think the only thing that maybe comes off the back of it, that there's plenty of warnings about that type of storm that was blown in, for how long it was going to be here. I think it was probably a bit longer than what was envisaged to begin with. So I don't know if that is one that earlier we just make that call, so that, you know, we're not sitting up in a hotel in Aberdeen, and that becomes a frustration because there's a lot of travelling in there and a lot of time spent in a bus, whereby we would want to play the game. That was our first pick, hence why we were there, of course. But then it starts to have that wee bit of knock-on effect into this weekend's game. But as always, we adjust and we make sure that we're as ready as we can be.